I got cramps in both of my legs. I threw away my water bottles and I packed it with the Ironman juice.
Yeah.
That saved me. The last 18 miles, I just picked it up. With 2 leg cramps or Charlie horses, back spasm on the run, kicked in the face twice on the swim, but it was good. I am an Ironman. Hey guys, I promised that I'd make this video for you, and so I'm just throwing this out here, guys. I know we've had some great discussions, and most of you probably already know, or maybe you don't, but just recently I accomplished something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that was cross the finish line at the Ironman. I finished the Ironman, and that has been a goal of mine for about 10 years. But it was only until I decided to no longer make finishing the Ironman a goal that I actually accomplished the Ironman. I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but over the last year, I've been unpacking this idea of prolific achievement without setting goals. And I've tested this out in different areas of my life, and I've got to tell you, I've become a believer. That if you truly want to experience achievements in your life, things that you've never done before, the one thing that you definitely don't want to do at the beginning is set a goal. Now again, I know that this is crazy and this is borderline blasphemy. I know, but please hear me out. The reason why I say this is because goal setting, the way we've always been taught, is an antiquated idea that has outlived its usefulness. And it actually sets us up more for failure than it actually causes us to succeed in different areas of our life. And, you know, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Byron, what are we supposed to do now? I mean, if we don't set goals, we won't accomplish anything. We won't be anyone. We won't go anywhere. What are we going to tell our kids? I know, but I think that the reason why this idea, this concept of achieving without goals is a provocative one, and one that can be unsettling, is because all of our life we have been taught, from our teachers to our coaches to the books that we've read, to the books that we've read, to the tapes and the seminars and the motivational speakers, you name it, all of them tell us that if we want to achieve anything significant, what do? You set a goal. And of course you've got to make that goal smart. You've heard this, right? You've got to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, right? You've heard all of this. But what if setting goals the way we've always been taught is false? What if we've been trying to practice all of this time and we end up perpetuating a false idea that just doesn't work most of the time? I'm persuaded in thinking, and I submit to you to test this out for yourself. I've been trying to unpack this in my own life. I want you to test it out. Let's wrestle with this. But I'm convinced that instinctively all of us know, when we just look at the evidence of our history, of our life, and we were to list out all of the accomplishments in our life, that when we look at this list of accomplishments, that the list that we would gather, or the things that we've accomplished that came as a result of us actually intentionally setting goals, would be a lot smaller than the list of achievements that occurred in spite of the fact that we never set a goal to begin with. I truly believe that. I mean, I know that that's true in my own life, and I'm willing to believe, and I'm willing to argue that, if the truth be told, that may be the experience of a lot of people. And again, if we truly want to achieve and accomplish things in our life, maybe setting goals is not the best approach. Now, I want to unpack this just a little bit more, so I hope you stay with me here. Setting goals sets us up for failure. If that's true, you've got to ask yourself the question, why? Why is that true? And I believe it's true because in the process of us setting goals, we also set in motion, unintentionally, we set in motion 2 debilitating factors that actually work against our success. These two factors are, number one, the law of diminishing intent. You may have heard this before, the law of diminishing intent. Simply stated, the law of diminishing intent says that if the longer it takes for you to take action on something, the more likely you are to never ever take action on that something. Now, what that means is, in relationship to goals, is when you set a goal out into the future, you also invite into the process this momentum of procrastination. It happens to everybody at some point. And when we choose not to take action, the longer it takes for us to take action, the more likely we are not to ever take action. Now that's the law of diminishing intent. And when you combine that with the Parkinson's law, you have a recipe for failure. This explains why we fail more often at achieving our goals that we set than we don't. It's because this works against us. Now, Parkinson's law states this: the longer the time you give for a task to be complete, the longer it takes. The longer you give yourself time to complete a task, that's kind of a tongue twister, the more likely you are to complicate the process. I'll say it again. The longer you give yourself time to complete a task, the longer and the more complicated you will make the process. Okay, so now when you combine Parkinson's law with the law of diminishing intent, what happens is you set a goal and you establish plans that you complicate. Then you get discouraged and you start to lose focus, and then all of a sudden you start to move so slow that ultimately you never cross the finish line with your goals, with your dreams. Guys, I think this happens far too often than we would like to admit. And I believe there is a better approach. There's a better way. Now, I've decided I'm going to cut this video into two parts because I don't want this to be too long. So at this point, I want you to just unpack what I just shared with you. Why I'm submitting the argument that setting goals sets us up for failure. And I am going to make another video and get that back to you ASAP. But in the meantime, please comment. Let's continue the conversation on this idea around prolific achievement without setting goals. Okay? Until the next video, remember, live generously, live well. I'll see you later.